Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a long overdue care package video. Got a couple of cards, it looks like. I was only expecting one, but got a couple of cards in the mail from my good friend and yours, Dan, over at Ol'SargeCollects. The man needs no introduction, but I'll try my best anyway. I'll leave a link below in the event that you're not subscribed to his channel, but Dan is awesome. In addition to just being one of my great friends in the hobby, someone who I talk to every week and sometimes every day about this great hobby. He's just an amazing collector. I see his generosity all over the YouTube community, and his collection is sneaky awesome. Really good vintage baseball collection, and he has an amazing knack for finding like these crazy pre-war non-sport cards like the one you see here for Boston, Massachusetts. This is a card that I bought from Dan. He does occasionally list things on eBay for sale, like a lot of us do, to generate hobby funds or as his collecting tastes change. And in fact, today's video, the impetus behind it is going to be a card that I bought from Dan. So let's take a look at the note for starters. Hey Shane, thank you for your recent purchase of the 1924 Ogden's George Washington card. Spoiler there. I'm so glad you are adding it to your amazing collection. I've enclosed a few others for that great collection of yours. The Zulu Warrior card is from the 1895 Will's Cigarettes Soldiers of the World set that my Buffalo Soldier card comes from. And I'll mention here, that was a great video if you didn't see it. Probably a couple videos back now on Dan's channel. Did a Military Mondays segment that he's doing on Buffalo Soldier card that is really, really impressive. Highly recommend checking that out. And the other tobacco card is an 1887 Duke's Cigarettes card from the Ocean and Steamer set. And see, that's exactly what I'm talking about with Dan. The card represents the steamship Rhode Island from the Providence line. How cool is that? My home state. I live about 10 minutes outside of Providence here. The ship has an intriguing story worth the read, so I'll have to read up on that. But also, this card was part of my purchase of the 1888 Little Rhodey America National Sports card, which again, another card that if you haven't seen it is insane. Maybe one of the highlights of Dan's whole collection in his own words. I hope you enjoy all these cards. Keep hunting the good stuff. Your friend Dan, Ol'SargeCollects. So like I said, just a class individual. As alluded to in the note, I made a purchase from Dan. So he's been showing off some cards that he's looking to part with. And I had let him know that if he was looking to move on from any George Washington cards, that I would love to have him represented in my own vintage pre-war collection. And so I got this beautiful Ogden Cigarettes from 1924, George Washington from the Leaders of Men set. I love this. Goes really nicely with this Washington, D.C. card that I also picked up from Dan for sale on his store maybe a few months back now. Really, really pumped to end up with this. And it's even more meaningful to me in my own collection now, knowing that it came from Dan and from his fantastic collection and is the exact type of card that I think of when I think of Dan and his collection. So just really, really cool. Let's take a look at the back. I'll leave this up in case you want to pause it. Not going to read the whole summary, but a really, really cool card. These kind of historical figures, not something that I go deep into with my collecting, but I do like having like just one or two examples of some of the more important figures. Like I have a Thomas Edison. I have some city cards like DC, this Rhode Island flag card in the background, and now I have that George Washington to add along with it. And also alluded to in the note were these extras, that Dan has included. So let's check this out. And we start off, look at this one, with a black diamond Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth is, I think, Dan's favorite player, at least his favorite, old school vintage player. He's got an amazing collection of modern Babe Ruth cards, and I'm assuming this one is from that collection. But I love Black Diamond. I don't know if you knew this, Dan, or if you did this just accidentally, but Black Diamond is a big brand in hockey cards, with Upper Deck still having the license to produce hockey cards to this day. And I have many Black Diamond hockey cards, but very few Black Diamond baseball cards. And I love the image on this Ruth. And again, just a perfect card to get in from the collection of somebody who has one of the best modern Babe Ruth collections that I'm aware of. Just awesome stuff there. Love that image. Next up, here's one that was alluded to in the note. It is the Zulu Warrior card. How awesome is that? From, as Dan indicated, I think 1895 Will's Cigarettes. How cool is that? Soldiers of the World. And look at that ornate back on this card. Absolutely love. I love the backs on these tobacco cards when they have these kind of intricate prints and designs like this. That is just really, really cool. And Zulu Warrior there, complete with spear and shield. I'll have to read up more on this. I believe they were like a tribe in the southern part of Africa, like in the early 1800s, which would make sense with this being a late 1800s card. It would make sense that they would feature them in this set. And that is just beyond cool. That is my first card from the 1895 Will's Soldiers of the World release. Just killer. Really, really appreciate that, Dan. So thoughtful. And then let's talk about, so it looks like there's two other surprise bonus throw-in cards here before we get to the finale. And both of these are right up my alley because they are part of the, or represent the Aaron Judge home run record. That was the American League, 62 home runs, besting Roger Maris in the year 2022, 61 years after the original record of 61. Just love collecting 2022 Judge cards, or really any Judge card related to that home run record. And this one here is fantastic. This is a Topps 3D Aaron Judge, on-demand 3D. They made these from years 2018 through 2022, a 5-year span. They're not easy cards to find, and they're the same design as the flagship set for that year, but done in this lenticular design, almost like the Kellogg's cards from the 70s, just a killer card. I did not have this one yet, Dan. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, I am working on a rough collection of home run record related cards for the American League with the goal of having a 62 card collection. And that could encompass everything from the 61 Roger Maris to the 2022 3D Aaron Judge. So that'll be a great addition to that pursuit. I think we've probably talked about it before, Dan, but I love those 3D cards, just even Aaron Judge aside. I've got plenty of them in the collection, and that one is a home run, pun intended. And then the other Judge-related card, this is another card that I've shown frequently, or different versions of it here on the channel. I have kind of super collected this card. It's the 2022 AL Home Run Leaders from 2023 Topps. So of course, this is the card that specifically represents that 62 home run season. You can see that right along the top there from Judge. And then coming in second and third place in the AL home run race were Mike Trout and Yordan Alvarez. This is the Topps Chrome Sapphire edition. And while I have the orange version of this card, which I think is numbered to 25, I actually never had the base. And given that I'm super collecting this card in as many different versions as I can get my hands on, this is just perfect and incredibly thoughtful. Both of those Aaron Judge cards are just, couldn't be better as far as being a fit for my collection. And then we close out with the last card that was mentioned in the intro, in the note, and this is just awesome. I've never seen anything from this release, but check this out. This is the Steamship Rhode Island. How awesome is that? You have the Rhode Island state flag here, the United States flag, Providence line noted right there. How cool is this? And look at the back on this. Ocean and River Steamers. And this was packed in Duke cigarettes. As Dan indicated in the notes, this particular card is from 1887. And you can see all of the other liners that are represented here. Just a home run. I love Rhode Island related cards. There's not a lot of it out there, not a lot of successful professional athletes from the state of Rhode Island. We're a very, very small state, but Dan has just managed to find amazing Rhode Island related vintage cardboard to send my way. We looked at this Allen and Ginter flag earlier, but also in the past, he has sent me this card here, which is a Rhode Island Private Marine Artillery uniform. And he sent me in the past this Rhode Island Reds Player Cigarettes card. These are Rhode Island Red Roosters that our state is known for as well. So Just amazing. Really, every super old 100-year-old plus Rhode Island card that I own is in my collection solely because of Dan and his amazing collection, and more importantly, his generosity. So I've gone on for just a few cards. I really turned this into my typical 10-minute episode, but I wanted to do this package. It's justice. I was long overdue in getting to it. This is a very busy time of the year for me over the summer, and I have a lot backlogged here to get to on the channel. So Dan, thank you for your patience as you waited for me to show off these goods here on the channel. Thank you for your kindness and generosity in sending me all these extra cards. And thank you most importantly for your hobby friendship. I really treasure it so much. So thank you, Dan, and thank you to everybody else who stopped by. Hope you saw a few cards today that interested you. And as you know, I'll be back very soon here with some more content. Until then, enjoy the hobby and take care. See ya.